All right, first and foremost, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Wakaha, Kodash. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, which means He to be, He exists. Bahasham is in the name. Yahushai is His only begotten Savior Son, who the world only calls Lord and Jesus Christ. These are the powers that we serve, these are the powers that we come in the name of. All right, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Wakaha, Kodash. This lesson is entitled This is a destruction from the Lord, right? This is a destruction from the Lord. All right, so we're going to start. We have a couple of reels. Well, we have, a couple of reels, a couple of clips that we're going to present and break it down. Now, we know that the main destruction is in Babylon the Great, which is America, right? We know that Trinidad is a province of Babylon, as what's is all part of the main machine being destroyed. All right? It's all part of the main machine, Babylon, the whole that caused all the nations to drink of the wine of her wrath of her fornication. She's going down. All right? It's all gonna lead to the culminate, reach the climax, or the pinnacle, which is the top of prophecy, which is what the destruction of Babylon. All right? Because right now Babylon is in league with a lot of nations, mainly the NATO and EU nations. They are the friends. They are complicit in what? Destroying Jacob, because Babylon is a city of the Edomites. Okay, so what we're about to see here would add or culminate to the destruction of Babylon. All right, so we're going to start here at home in Trinidad, and let's see what's going on.
Their Hindu heritage. Plans are now underway to establish a Trinidad and Tobago are taking a major step to honor their Hindu heritage. Plans are now underway to establish a Divya Bhavya Ram Mandir, a Ram temple in the capital city, the Port of Spain. And they really connect with their culture and how.
जी हाँ, हम बात कर रहे हैं त्रिनिदाद और टोबैगो की। कैरिबियन द्वीप समूह में स्थित त्रिनिदाद और टोबैगो में अब एक प्रस्तावित राम मंदिर की योजना सामने आई है, जिसे हिंदू दर्शन, संस्कृति और प्रवासी भारतीयों के लिए एक महत्वपूर्ण संकेत माना जा रहा है। दरअसल त्रिनिदाद और टोबैगो में ये प्रस्ताव इसलिए विशेष है क्योंकि वहां हिंदू समुदाय काफी समय से रह रहा है और उसने वहां की सामाजिक सांस्कृतिक बनावट में अपना योगदान दिया है।
Trinidad and Tobago taking a major step to honor its Hindu heritage, with plans now underway to establish a Ram Mandir in the capital city. Public Utilities Minister has said that the government fully supports the initiative, which aims to strengthen the country's position as a cultural and spiritual hub for Hinduism in the Western Hemisphere. Listen to this.
So what is actually going on, right, is that Trinidad and Tobago has a Elamite ruling party at the moment. Earlier on this year, they won the elections and they came into rulership, the Elamite party, which we know this bipartisanism system, it goes back to Rome, right? As the scripture says, I don't know if anybody want to bring it out, Baba Kusha, Howard Shalom, is a horn, a lamb. Shalom, Yabashman Shabakta. Is a lamb with two horns, right? Just as you see it, it goes back to the ancient way, which of the Romans, which is what the plebeians against the patricians, right? Just as you have it in America, just as you may have it in England, all right? It's the same setup, but it's also a psychological thing, right? So in Trinidad, it's red against yellow. Kind of like what you see on the screen. Behind the reporter is red and yellow behind the government ministry. Red represents the PNM, or the mainly Negro, right? The image of to the Negroes, and yellow represents the image of what the Elamites. Right? Negro being Jacob and yellow being the Elamites, which we know that the Elamites are against and complicit against Israel with the Edomites, self-proclaimed white man. All right, so just bringing the nation, the brothers up to speed what's going on. Okay?
You want
Because
to
the scripture said, be not ignorant of any matter, small or great. So that when I say this is as a destruction from the Lord, okay, and I say that it's going to culminate to the destruction of Babylon the Great, maybe it starts here. Okay? It's a matter that should be taken in consideration. Go ahead.
you want the Revelation 13 11, right? So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 11. It says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
And he speak as a dragon. Well, you can break down too.
Yeah. Okay, you can. But let's get something here. Quick. So yeah, so as the brother was mentioning the two-party system, right, and where it's come out from. And they play the same role here today as the brother was mentioning. You see that the yellow, that the red, America have the is the Democrats, the Republicans, right? And they use our system even there, even in this Caribbean country, what they call Trinidad, right? And I go straight back to what? To the plebeians and the patricians, right? Today, ultimately, what they will call them is what? The Republicans and the Democrats, right? I'm gonna bring a quick precept here. The book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21, right? You see the words of his mouth to smooth. This going into like what the Revelation mentioned about he speak as a dragon, right? It say the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords, right? And it's going to speak of the dragon, going into the draconian laws and so forth, and how easily it is right now to they bringing forth. I remember the elder Kwame mentioned. You see, right now we in a time where it's so easy. They bringing forth the draconian laws very easily, right? With the stuff that they have, the technology and so forth, right? So go ahead.
That's all right. Somebody can speak in the meantime. I'm just pulling up something.
Okay. And if any idea, brothers, anything to say, collab or what? Brothers, not right. So,
And well, hey, and as I go along and say, there's nothing new under the sun. You understand? So we just see these things happening back then in the Roman Empire. It was about division, and you see like that same division among these Edomites. You understand? Because if they've been good to themselves, you understand? They've been good to the people. You understand? The empire must crash, and that is it. Because corruption inside out. You understand? And we understand that the elites, they hang on a 10 string. You understand? And that 10 string is about to burst anytime. You understand? Because we don't see what's going on. They crashing the economy. They bringing down chaos. They bring for their NWO. What we understand with that, it comes a great fall. You understand? Because the scripture say when he's about to fall his belly, God's going to bring destruction upon him. You understand? So all the nations right now just in the spirit of, hey, they're ready to touch that red button. You understand? They don't fight up Babylon. But Babylon had to do until he reach his bone. And when he reach his bone, that when the Lord is going to really turn it up. And everybody who confederate with him is going to go against him. You understand?
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's what the Spirit's showing. That's what the Spirit is showing. Right? So just as Rai said it just now, I had to look it up. So I asked AI which side would the patricians and the plebeians which side would be the patricians and the plebeians in America today. It says AI overview. In contemporary America, the role of the patricians and the plebeians are not defined by inherited Roman social law, but by modern class structures shaped by wealth, income, and political influence. While there is no formal division, and analysts often point to the vast and growing wealth gap to illustrate the similar dynamic. The modern patricians. Today, equivalent of the Roman patrician class is the wealthy elite who possess significant economic and political power. Source of wealth, unlike the working class, their wealth is primarily derived from assets, investments, and capital gains, not wages. This includes top executives, heirs to large fortunes, and owners of major private companies. As of November 2025, the wealthiest 10% of US households own 87% of all stock holding. That's a great margin, right? It says political influence. This group uses its wealth to influence political systems by funding political campaigns and leveraging connections. Critics have argued that this can create an oligarchy where the wealthy have this disproportionate sway over the lawmaking process. And this is what we're seeing, right? Now, the oligarchy is what they basically see in Russia, but this is what they're seeing. This is what America wasn't supposed to be about, that they're supposed to be about a democracy, which we see that they are hypocrites in their speech, right? And that's why somebody could get collab if you're there, if you could get Job 15:34 from Baba Kasha. Job 15:34. It says yeah, it's gonna have a political sway in the system. All right, you know. So like my mom, this basic theory here is what's going on in Trinidad, or was going on in Trinidad when you had the prime minister of the former party PNM, Keith Rowley at the time. He said that nothing is wrong with the rich remaining rich to provide opportunities for the poor. And that falls into play, right? Collab, ready?
I have a day for you know. I think Collab doing something.
Step
So
out.
this is Job chapter 15 verse 34. It says, "For the congregation of the hypocrites shall be desolate, and fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery."
Yeah, so fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery. But this is what happens. This is what happens here. All right. This group uses the wealth to influence political systems by funding political campaigns. Now you're watching what's happening now. The chief funders of the ballroom that Trump wants to build are who? Is this oligarchy or this patrician family? The patricians, sorry, or the patricians, right? You have like well, the first name to come to mind is Elon Musk, right? It says by funding campaigns and leveraging connections, critics have argued this can create an oligarchy where the wealth have this disproportionate sway over lawmaking process, and that's what you see going on. So I'm just gonna, for truth's sake, look up the word oligarchy.
And this I tell you that the spirit I could just earlier today, I look up that word oligarchy. Just today, I did another research on that.
Beautiful. Oligarch, a small group of people having control of a country or organization, and that's it. That's exactly what it says. No, is the same settings in Trinidad. Is the Elamites? They own plenty businesses. They are rich through business, just like the political, just like the patrician, patrician, sorry, right? The source of wealth is also derived from assets, investment, and capital gains, not wages. Right? Plenty of these Elamites and heathen that rule right now in this party, they have their wealth from those same means, right? On both sides, right? Social and cultural segregation. The modern elite tend to associate with others in their class, often living in exclusive communities and attending the same prestigious schools. This can reinforce cultural and social divides from the rest of society. Right, so we see this thing playing off, just as it would in ancient Rome, just as it would in America today, just as it would in any so-called democratic country. All right. So I just wanted to bring this out here really quick as we were speaking on this. So I'll come back to the video here real quick. Let's make sure everything is good. All right.
A lot of the cultural and religious expression of India through Hinduism in particular has been maintained and kept alive here. So there.
One other point is that as soon as this government came into governance of this country, what did they do? They ran to India and they brought the president of India to Trinidad. In other words, they blessed themselves and their people. They blessed themselves and the people. What they did, as you would have seen in the portrayal just early on in this clip, right? When the plain land and the cultural whatnot. What angered me a little bit there was to see a Jake woman in all white dancing, right? Jake is dancing to the death, right? As the song go, the city go burn down and we jamming still, right? They think it's all fun and games until it's not, right? These Elamites are the heathen that are against the nation of Israel. This is the book of Psalms. '83 and verse 1. It says God implored to confound his enemies. Right? Implored means the implore means let me pull it up. Ask or beg, as far as I know. All right. I wouldn't sidetrack, right? Psalms 83 verse 1, a song or psalm. Keep not thou silent, O power. Hold not thy peace and be not still, O power. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. Right? So part of that counsel, they would have gone to India. They would have seek citizenship for up to the 6th generation of Indians in Trinidad and Tobago. So their generation supposedly, right, could live on in their culture. Let's look at it from a so-called conspiracy theorist kind of which we know conspiracy means conspire means with breath, right? With breath. And what is the breath? The breath is the spirit. Wisdom of Solomon 7:24 tells you is like what? It is it's like motherfucker, I can read it. You can read it from my Bible, sure.
Which one are they?
Wisdom of Solomon 7:24. Right? The breath is like the spirit. Is the spirit side.
Okay. Let's go from Wisdom of Solomon is 15.
No, Wisdom of Solomon 7:24.
Or 7:24, select 7:24. I want to do something else. My bad. 7 verse 24. It says, for wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness. For she is the breath of the power of God and pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore can no defiled thing fall into her.
God, right? So wisdom is breath. So they with one wisdom, and that wisdom is for their people. That wisdom is not for the nation of Israel, right? They complicit with Esau against Israel, right? It says, for lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee lifted up the head, right? They have taken crafty counsel. Right? I just wanted to look up that word crafty, aram.
Strong's H6191. Aram.
To be subtle, to be shrewd, to be crafty, to beware, to take crafty counsel, to be prudent, to be subtle, to be or become shrewd. All right? So they are shrewd, they are crafty. All right? shrewd, having or showing sharp powers of judgment or astute, right? It says archaic, especially of weather, cold, east wind, cold. People asking for what? They're asking for an update. They want to know what is going on with the U.S. presence, and they are not
Yes.
saying things so cold. They mischievous or malicious, shrewd. All right, let's go back to it here real quick.
Ramlala initiative is something that we welcome. It is something we support, and we're almost certain from our discussions going in the future, we will have other major announcements to make in terms of how we can utilize this not only as a spiritual medium, but in terms of tourism as well, and also how we can continue to empower the
Salaki, I really hate Elam, right? So these Elam here, all four of them, instead of, they normally shake their head side to side, they're shaking it up and down this time. I just noticed that.
faith and the teachings of Bhagwan Sri Ram here in Trinidad and Tobago.
The announcement was made just days ahead of Diwali, which is a national holiday there. It reflects how Hindu customs and values are woven into the country's multicultural identity. The government views the Ram Mandir project as an opportunity to promote religious tourism while deepening awareness and devotion to Lord Ram's teachings among the local and international devotees. The move follows the arrival of a replica of the Ram Lalla idol from Ayodhya earlier this year. This moment that drew thousands of worshippers and reaffirmed the deep spiritual connection between the Caribbean nation and India. And during his visit to Port of Spain early this year, Prime Minister Modi gifted the Prime Minister holy water from the Sangam and Saryu rivers, along with a replica of the Ram Mandir. Prime Minister Modi also highlighted his counterpart's ancestral roots in Bihar, calling her a daughter of Bihar. He also praised the Indian diaspora for keeping their traditions alive overseas. And today, people of Indian descent make up about 42% of Trinidad and Tobago's population. The proposed temple will hold a special place as it not only symbolizes devotion to Lord Ram, but also the enduring cultural bridge between the two sides.
All right, so we go in with that. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 19. Right, because Trinidad presently has one of the tallest idols, as you would have heard. They was gifted a replica idol, right? They was gifted a replica idol by Prime Minister Modi of India, or President Modi, whichever it is title, I can't remember proper, right? And as the title of this lesson, this is a destruction from the Lord. This is why the Lord is going to destroy this place, because of the idols, right? In the past rulership of this government, over about 2 decades ago, right? What was the Prime Minister doing? They had it was brought up into the in the Parliament that they had high few costs for the national security helicopter. What she used to do is go up there and do her prayers and shower down her idol offerings on the nation. She used to do that. All right. So this is the message to Egypt in Isaiah chapter 99 verse 1, Salakia. The burden of Egypt, right? I like to have the Strongs up. The burden of Egypt. What is our burden? Masor. It says a load bearing or tribute, burden, a lifting, a load, a lifting up or uplifting to that to which the soul itself lifts. The soul lifts itself up, right? Bearing or carrying tribute, that which is carried or brought or borne home, an oracle or burden, massa, burden, right? Burden, right? So the burden of Israel, the oracle of Israel. Let's go back. It's the oracle of Egypt. Our next word there uses oracle, right? Burden, right? The word speaking about Egypt. Behold, the Lord rideth upon a what? Swift cloud. What that cloud is? That cloud is what? The chariot. The Lord makes what? Clouds his chariot. And all eyes on Three-Eye Atlas and all the antics is doing in the skies right now, slowing down, speeding up, changing lights, all these different type of things is They say it's alive, it's hostile, it's all these different things. And shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. So the idol that they're setting up, they have presently, and they want to set up to so-called bless, and the deep spiritual connection that they have to the idols is going to be moved at the presence of the power of heaven and earth, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. So what? And the heart, let's see what the word heart is. And the heart, La Bawab.
Strong's H 3824. Levav. Levav.
In a man, will, heart, soul, understanding in the midst of things of man, right? Seat, the courage, right? Seat of courage, etc. Right? So the heart is going to melt. It shall melt. To dissolve, to melt away, to waste, to melt, to vanish, to drop off, melt away, to faint or grow fearful, wasted or worthless. The Lord is going to prove that these idols are nothing. They can't save. They're not going to save. You had Jacob inside there passing medals and trophies or certificates, right? Memorabilia of what was done on that day President Modi visited. Said, I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians and they shall fall. And what makes you an Egyptian here today? Because it says in Revelation 11 verse 8, their dead body shall lie in the city spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. Right? You believe in this system, you believe in this way, right? You believe in this way of life that you could eventually have the convenience of having a micro C hip in your hand, right? And everything will be convenient and applicable for you. You can, by the wave of a hand, you can have security. By the wave of a hand, you can have access. By the wave of a hand, you can do all these different things. Or your head if you don't have hands, right? That you believe in it and you take it voluntarily or mandatorily. You take it, you're going to be destroyed by the Lord, either by the missiles or the chariots, the lasers from the chariots. And everybody can, and against and just like, and I will set Egyptians against Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Go ahead.
So this is the book of Mark. Just to back you up quick, 2 one-liners. This is the book of Mark, chapter 3, verse 25. I read, and if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand.
Ooh, right? You're kind of rushing it, but you can hear why. Because of the other video clips to come.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm not really getting for it. But it's nice. You can bring it back twice.
Yeah, we'll bring it back twice.
Go
ahead. He said he had to. Let him come with his next
one. So we'll bring the next one here. In the book of just to add to you, I can see how should I call with that swift cloud. This is the book of we'll get 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 24. I read, then cometh the end, when he shall have delivered of the kingdom to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, even the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power. So hear that? It said put down. So when Yahushai return, he gonna put down all rulership, all authority, and all power that is upon the face of the earth. You understand? I'm going back into the book of where's KTFS? The book of Micah, chapter I think it's 5 and 1. Alright. It's the book of Micah, chapter 4, verse 1, and it read, but in the last days it shall come to pass, and here it say, it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, shall be established. Right? And if I'm not going to mean that establish, you understand, it gonna come to pass. And the establishment that the Lord is setting up right now, which is his elect, is going to be established. And it say, in the top of the mountains. So going back into what? He's
You
gonna
know,
put all authority, all power, and all ruler. Boy, that's a lot.
bring a quick meaning for the word establish if you see to set up on a firm or permanent basis.
Ooh, you would say to set up on a firm, permanent, nice word, permanent basis. And if you have something for something, it will be really be permanent in something. That means nothing can remove you in it.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? You come like a stay in it. You come like
Hey,
a
beautiful, beautiful. Because one of the meaning in Hebrew is yasad, which means foundation, to lay a foundation, to ordain, to counsel, to establish, foundation, appointed, instructed, set, or show.
Yapa. So yapa. And that will gonna be taking place. That gonna come to pass, which the elect is gonna be, you know, rulers forever
Hey,
and ever and ever. Go ahead.
Slakia, let me show you this. You seeing this on the screen? So
Yeah.
this is the when you look it up in the lexicon, right? It says there are 5 meanings, right? Aman, Ames, Yasad, Samak, and Takan, right? There's no Greek for establish. There's no Greek, so there's no new way to establish anything. There's only the old way. This is how I see it in the spirit. There's no new way. There's only the old way. That which had been is that which shall be. There's no new thing underneath the sun.
That's right. That's right. This precept very powerful. You understand? And that will be heralding the coming of Yahweh Shimon Shai to establish Jerusalem to be a praise upon the face of the earth once again. And the settlement is men, which is representing the house of King David, and also which we understand in the kingdom of heaven is within us. So we representing the kingdom of heaven right now on the face of the earth. Until Yahweh Shimon Shai, establish us. Understand? And with the establishment came bring forth the bodies. The bodies is coming to bring a part of the establishment, the sealing of the elect, which within our lab is gonna be sealed, basically the constitution, the laws, righteousness. You understand? I think I was going on into it last night with our brother. Even I was taking in a video, so like I was taking in a video where brother was going on into it. The Lord is preparing us to be kings, to rule over these heathen nations and even rule over the nation of Israel. So you as a king right now, coming because the Lord say, but he making us soldiers, as what we paraphrasing in scriptures, right? He making us soldiers. So basically, a soldier have a role to play. It have the sergeant, it have the corporal. So I really know the rank in the army, but brothers might know better. But you understand that it's a level. It's a level where the Lord will bringing you up to. So when you wouldn't rule an empire or rule, a kingdom, the mindset that you have is like, you gain a taste with it right here on the earth, because the Lord said, let everything done decently and in order. So that's why the Lord said captains over 5, over 10, over 20, over 100, and go straight up to the apostles, right? So that's why everything done decently and in order. The Larry Kwam went down into it. Even among us, if a situation come up, is to go to the higher ups and go straight to the higher ups. It's about Allah over you, either Allah over you. And so it wouldn't be, you understand, the establishing of the kingdom of heaven upon the face of the earth from the men of the Lord. As we doing everything, speaking the same thing, and doing everything in order. So let me see if I can finish out that precept.
So like I have the rank here.
Yeah, go ahead, I can.
I don't already know how they. I don't already know how they list it. Not looking like it's in order. List the army hierarchy in order of the lowest to the highest, right? Let me see if I can get it here. All right, it says private recruit E1, private E2, private first class, specialist corporal, sergeant, staff sergeant, sergeant first, master sergeant, first sergeant, sergeant major, command sergeant, warrant officer 1, chief warrant officer 2, 3, 4, 5, commission officer ranks, second lieutenant, first lieutenant, captain, major, lieutenant, colonel, brigadier, major, lieutenant, general, and chief, army chief of staff. So this always
Yeah, Karen.
rank, and when this actually go back, the whole concept of this order went back to what in the scriptures with Moses and Jethro. When Jethro, his Midianite father-in-law, saw him dealing with the affairs of Israel one-on-one on a daily, he said that this was not a good thing, right? Basically, you would wear out yourself. And he told them, set captains of 50s over them, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can get, anybody want to pull it up? Or go ahead and do it.
I was okay.
So that we'll finish up this this one line.
Yeah, you
Can so continuing it say we back on top and say, but in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain and the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains. And if you understand how you put this precept there, when it say when it come to pass that the mountain, which is singular, right? And then after you go to say of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains. So you go back into plural. You understand? More than one. So you understand and who is in authority right now. And even in all the hidden nations, it have an elite where they live deliciously. You understand? Because as we understand, as Zebra bring all the Psalms 83, they all join confederate to come against Israel, the mountain. Right? And say that it shall be established above the hills and people shall flow unto it. So this is when we don't take over and the heathens them make it open continually to bring the forces of the Gentiles. Well,
So like yeah, it wasn't with Jethro. It was here. Numbers 31:1, the slaughter of the Midian. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, avenge the children of Israel of the Midianites. Afterwards shalt thou be gathered unto thy people. And Moses spake unto the people, saying, arm some of yourselves unto war, and let them go against the Midianites and avenge the Lord of Midian. Of every tribe 1,000 throughout all the tribes shall ye send to war. So they were delivered out of thousands of Israel, 1,000 of every tribe, 12,000 armed for war. And Moses sent them to the war, 1,000 of every tribe, them and Phinehas the son of Eleazar the priest, to the war, with the holy instruments and trumpets to blow in his hand. And they warred against the Midianites as the Lord commanded Moses, and slew all the males. And they slew the kings of Midian beside the rest of them that were slain, namely Evi and Rekhem and Zur and Hur and Reba, 5 kings of Midian. Balaam also, son of Beor, they slew with the sword. All right, so this was the prophet. And the children of Israel took all the women of Midian captives. So this was a thing that we used to do. We have a law in it, right? And their little ones took the spoil of all their cattle and all their flocks and all their goods. Verse 10. And they burnt all the cities wherein they dwelt, all their goodly castles with fire. And they took all the spoil and all the prey, both of men and of beasts. And they brought the captives and the prey and the spoil unto Moses and Eleazar the priest, and unto the congregation of the children of Israel, unto the camp at the plains of Moab, which are by the Jordan near Jericho. And Moses and Eleazar the priest and all the princes of the congregation went forth to meet them without the camp, And Moses was wroth with the officers and the host with the captains over 1,000 and the captains over 100, which came from the battle. And Moses said unto them, Ye have saved all the women alive. Behold, these caused the children of Israel through the counsel of Balaam to commit trespasses against the Lord in the matter of Peor. And there was a plague among the congregation of the Lord, right? Here, these women are witches, yes? Right. So I'll come back here, right? I'm gonna run this video for a minute, unless somebody have a precept.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Breaking news exclusive now coming into the Situation Room. Watch this. The United Kingdom is suspending, listen to this, suspending some of its intelligence sharing with the U.S. because of the Trump administration's strikes against alleged drug boats in the Caribbean.
We are joined now by senior White House reporter Kevin Liptak and CNN national security correspondent Natasha Bertrand. Natasha, to you first with this exclusive reporting. I mean, this is a big deal. The UK is arguably the closest ally to the United States when it comes to intelligence sharing. What else do we know?
Yeah, Pam, it's a really significant rupture here. Essentially, what we're learning is that the UK is no longer sharing intelligence with the US about these suspected drug trafficking vessels in the Caribbean because it does not want to be complicit in the US military's strikes on these drug vessels and believes fundamentally that the US military's use of force against these vessels violates international law, according to multiple sources that we spoke to. Now, previously, the UK had been happy to help the United States locate and interdict vessels that were transiting the Caribbean that appeared to be trafficking drugs. But the key difference, of course, is that it was helping the Coast Guard intercept those vessels, arrest those on board, seize the drugs, and allowing these individuals to have some semblance of due process. But now the U.S., of course, has started striking these boats unilaterally with military force, killing everyone on board. The total now for number of people killed is around 76. And we're told that the UK is deeply uncomfortable with that, and they believe that it is pretty blatantly illegal. Now, it is unclear exactly how long this intelligence sharing suspension is going to last, but we're told that it has been going on for well over a month now, essentially since the US began its bombing campaign, and it really underscores the continued questions surrounding the legality of this U.S. military campaign, which, of course, the U.S. Government, the Trump administration, has insisted is part of an armed conflict that it is waging against cartel members and criminal organizations. But much of the international community, as well as legal experts inside the U.S., do not see it that way.
I'm going to bring our next one real quick.
And Tobago, they are no longer peaceful. Trinidad, the skies over Trinidad and Tobago, they are no longer peaceful. Yes, the twin island nation, known for its beaches, carnivals, is all of a sudden part of a major United States military operation. Multiple American drones, the MQ-9A Reapers, have been spotted flying over and around TNT. Yet another appeared off Moruga in the Columbus Channel. In fact, fishermen saw them, locals heard them, and yet the government hasn't confirmed a thing. In fact, one fisherman said that I saw something like a plane flying periodically at night. He even identified it. Nobody else knows what's really happening here. Another one said that just last month, drones flew at night. Well, it's happening too often to ignore. You know, these drones, they aren't toys. MQ-9A Reapers, they are lethal attack drones with precision weapons, long-range sensors, multi-mode communication, hours of loitering time. They are built for intelligence gathering, but also strikes on dynamic targets. And the timing, it is alarming here. The US has recently conducted at least 17 lethal strikes in the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific, allegedly killing 69 narco-terrorists. President Trump claims that these strikes were based on the US intelligence, though no evidence have been publicly shared yet. The skies are no longer just for planes. They are a stage for intelligence, power, and military might. And as the MQ-9A Reapers circle above the islands, one question hangs over Trinidad and Tobago tonight. How close is this to becoming a real conflict? And what happens if a drone misstep sparks a war here? Because in the Caribbean right now, nothing is just about oil, crime, or borders anymore. It's about military dominance, it's about America's testing power, and Trinidad and Tobago caught in the middle. The sky.
Right, and there's a last. All right, go ahead. But
go ahead.
Let me play the last one, and then we can run off for the precepts and close out.
All right,
Thank you so much, Governor Newsom. Thanks very much for the question. I'm Ryan Beechu from Trinidad and Tobago, small island state. I wanted to ask you about a geopolitical situation that's developing. Today, it's being reported that the United Kingdom has suspended some sharing of intelligence with the United States because of the strikes in Venezuela on Venezuelan vessels. I just wanted to get your reaction to that. Plus, the Trinidad and Tobago government has supported those strikes. And if you had a message to the Trinidad and Tobago government, what would that be? Thank you very much, Governor Newsom.
What happened to due process? What happened to the rule of law? I'm a little old-fashioned. It's not ready, fire, aim. It's ready, aim, fire. I believe in rule of law. I don't believe in the rule of Don, D-O-N. That's what we're up against in the United States of America. I don't want to lose my republic. I hope you understand and are absorbing what's going on in the United States of America. Donald Trump does not believe what our founding fathers believed in co-equal branches of government. He does not believe in popular sovereignty. He does not believe in a system of checks and balances. We have a supine Congress that is checked out. We have a rule of law that I said increasingly appears to be the rule of Don. Our politics needs to change. And I hope our international partners understand that. It's chilling to me to see those scenes of the United States of America blowing up boats with no transparency, no advise and consent with the United States Congress, the representatives of my country, with briefings that are laughable that members of Congress, both the House and the Senate, including Republicans, have criticized. If you can't criticize that, what the hell can you criticize? Think about that. He's now talking about land opportunities. The United States of America, this is our country. Should be a model for the rest of the world. And so we're calling that out. And forgive me, I know I'm on a global stage and maybe in politic, forgive me. But this...
Slovakia.
Okay.
Slovakia. The
United States of America, this is our country. Should be a model for the rest of the world. And so we're calling that out. And forgive me, I know I'm on a global stage and maybe in politic, forgive me. But this is a precious moment in our republic, and I feel it needs to be called out. Thank you. We're close.
All right. I just want, just for what you know said, real quick. Right? Jeremiah 51:7, behold, Babylon had been a
that Revelation 17?
Jeremiah 51:7.
51. Okay.
Right. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore all the nations are mad, which that word mad means to shine, right? Or go forth in glory, right? That's some of the definition, glory, to boast, to mad. This is our country. This is my country. I mean our country. And it should be a model for the rest of the world. So they're mad, they're shining forth as in having God's favor, right? They had been that golden cup, right? But now that time has ended. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed, right? They put balm, balsam, right? Like the frankincense and the myrrh. That is actually balm. That's medicine. They gave Yahweh Shai, they offered him wine mixed with myrrh for the pain when he was being crucified, right? It's like an anesthetic somewhat, all right? Take balm for her, Cherry, kind of balm or balm himself as merchandise, as medicine, right? Take balm for her pain, if so, she may be healed, right? But she can't be healed because she have a wicked ruler, right? We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reach unto heaven and is lifted up even unto the skies. Right? What the woman was saying in the video, the skies above Trinidad and the Caribbean not safe. They have the Reaper drones. Right? The Lord had brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord, our power. This is it. Right? This is gonna culminate to the angering of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua and to the destruction of Babylon the Great. This is just part, because we see now that the nations, UK pull away themselves, right, within their own American government rulership. They're not down with Donald Trump. What the senator said, he said, basically Donald Trump is not after the tenets of the founding fathers. But the founding fathers were devils. They were slave owners as well, right? They set up the laws as Trump would have brought out. Those laws on immigration were for slave owners and they pertain to slaves. So when he said he's gonna put out the Northern Kingdom and then reprogram them and bring them back, right? They coming back as subjects, as slaves. That's what he would like to see happen, but that's not going to happen again. Affliction not going to rise up a second time. Go ahead, Howard. Howard.
You can. This was the clip where she said the Muruga fishermen and whoever from the Muruga village saw in the drones, you understand, and basically what taking place in Trinidad airspace, and everybody just in that spirit of in mood, everybody really taking on what's going on, nobody feeling, nobody even listening to the prophets, basically. Nobody understanding this war is about to take place in the Caribbean island, you understand, on the western side of the earth was going to turn, and even South America is going to turn into basically a battlefield, you understand, where a lot of death, a lot of judgment is going to be taking place, and all of this heralding the coming of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, because all the nations shall go down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, where the Lord is going to judge all these nations by leading up to wars to the four corners of the earth to reach to that level. So as how it's happening right now in the Middle East, and we see what's going on. I think just recently Russia turned it up on a different level to Ukraine, where departments came in so drastic that that they could not even help themselves. They just had to cry out. Ukraine had a cry out, and Russia know that it prolonging too long, but they started turning it up on Ukraine. So the same way how Esau Edom was going to turn it up on Venezuela, and the same way Venezuela going to get Russia to be a god unto them, China to be a god unto them, and there when it's going to be a world war, right? So this is but we have to understand he still had to bring forth his mark, because as we understand within the war from since COVID, when it started now, that Ukraine and Russia war still going on. So that alone show you how war is run. So the same way it can happen with the US and Venezuela. It could be months, years within this war. And within the war, the months and the years is when they're implementing the MOTB, as also a TikTok one of the sister from Babylon said to me about the I think a woman saying 870 something days again, where I think it's in one of these, I can't remember, I think it's in Europe. Is that Europe or London or one of these countries where it wouldn't be fully cashless. Fully cashless. So all these things is leading up all these things leading up to basically the downfall of Esau, Edom, and his empire. So I want to go back here up here in the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 7, and read how long she had glorified herself and lived deliciously, how much torment and sorrow gave her. For he said in her heart, I sat a queen and am no widow, and she see no sorrow, because America haven't been touched. You understand? That we call she Virgin Babylon. She never been basically infiltrated. You understand? She never been basically attacked by any other nation, right? Unless we understand that what Esau is do, he just go and fight wars for other countries. He's take over the war. It's like in your school days when you fight take over, and then after here come the bully to come and buy over the fight. And this is Esau for years being the bully, right? So it goes to say in verse 8, it say, therefore shall her plague come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, as we understand what that's going on into thermonuclear fire. It say, for strong is the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yoshai, who judgeth her. So it's the Lord who come in to judge the sword, the Lord who's coming to bring destruction, because we as a nation of Israel, being in this flesh, we coming against this sword. I just show you how the other camps who are that vibration, who having sticks out on the highways and posting up to be, on that level, that show they lacking an understanding. Because how should I say, wait until he make, you understand, that enemy, I think it's a pray or something like that. If I'm paraphrasing correct.
I'll get one for you.
And
Yes, bear with me. Huh?
Go on. Let's see, I will never be. Never. Reading scripture.
There's Psalms 94 and verse 1. O Lord, to whom vengeance belongeth, O power, to whom vengeance belongeth, show thyself, lift up thyself, thou judge of the earth, render reward to the proud. Right? So vengeance belongeth unto the Lord.
that's right.
That's right.
So I had the next precept here for these what it say? The city go burn down, we jam and still.
I want one the vengeance. Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 38. For we know him that had said, vengeance belongeth unto me, I will recompense, the Lord, and again the Lord shall judge his people.
Yapa. So the Lord coming to and first he when said, no, Michael, the archangel, you understand, he even when I lift up a standard upon him in the Lord, when the enemy coming like a flood, you understand? When the arrows fly by night, the Lord gonna be with us, the Lord gonna understand, because as we understand through the scriptures, the Lord says more of us than them. So they've been ready for that war. No time, no day, they've been ready for that war, because as we understand what it's saying in the scripture is one realm against another. And you cannot come against the spiritual realm. Because the spiritual realm, before this physical realm was created, it was in existence. This physical realm come into existence through the spiritual realm.
Deuteronomy
so if you take it out the way.
Deuteronomy 32 and 35. To me belongeth vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time, for the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things that shall come upon them shall make haste.
Shall make haste. So let me get the precept for these complacent Israelites and complacent Christians who thinking it's a normal day as one of the favorite precept right now. And then I also from verse 1, if you would look up 1 Thessalonians 5:1, it say, but of the times and the season, brethren, we have no need that I write unto you, for yourself know it perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are all the children of light and the children of day. We are not of the night or of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. Because when we go to the last part, it says, for they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But
Yeah. This the add to what the brother bring on the precept there. And Jake mindset us to do what? They're not focusing on the prophecies that are happening. Right? They're not hearkening. They're not listening. But what they focus on is the party, jam, wine, and indulge yourself in a whole set of abominable shit. But eventually something gonna pop off. Right? And we go see how long that wine and go continue. When all that mud disappear, we see how they gonna clap in. And then that happen soon. Because let me bring the scripture here. You see the book of Psalm chapter 5. And let me read that's 5 and then jump to verse 9, right? It said, 5 verse 6, it said, thou shalt destroy them that speak leasing. The Lord will abhor the bloody and deceitful man. Right? The bloody and deceitful man.
Listen means lies. Listen goes into lies.
Good. And that goes straight into the but I was not playing because wasn't didn't the UK about a month ago they came out and said I thought they didn't know what America was doing, but all of a sudden they came out to say, well, they will stop giving America the surveillance and so forth. But I thought all they said a month ago that all they didn't know what America was doing. But all of a sudden the information come out that all it was helping them. So it goes to show what the kind of things that being done in the background. Now let me jump to verse 9, right? You say, for there is no faithfulness in their mouth. The inward part is very wickedness, and that is what it is, because I was reading that, the same thing as in the video, I was reading it earlier this morning, right? Well, yesterday morning. And what's the thing about it? Tonight, a rep from NATO, he actually put a Maduro pity on an ace of spades on a card. So the cards has been played out, right? And if anybody know what the card means, that is the same thing it did with Saddam. Put your face on a card, right? And that's the same thing it did to Maduro. And that come out, and what I talking about was just an hour ago. We're not trying to find it back now. With the same rep who actually posed the picture to show that it was a NATO member, right, from the UK that shared it, right? I can't find it back, and hopefully I do if they didn't remove it or anything. But it goes to show that the cards already played out. They go into attack, right? And that I would say. The scripture says, for there is no faithfulness in them all. They're not supposed to trust the things people saying.
They took tongue. They forked tongue.
They forked tongue. It's that serpent.
Right? Our fast, I went into the symbols of the Ace of Spades. It's a power, authority, and dominance in many card games. The Ace of Spades is also known as the death card.
The what card?
The death card. It's with bad luck, negative outcomes.
Right. And they actually, and I hope and I find, and that is basically what I was trying to find for the longest while. All I was trying to find it back. And most likely it will come out, but as it hit, it was like in the moment I saw it, and next rep shared the same picture, and then I can't find it back. I don't know if they remove it or if it just come off the algorithm before I get time to save it. But they put his picture, a rep from NATO, right? So this could be breaking news. You know, people in this news might hit Trinidad next week, right? This news might hit Trinidad next week. The way how things going here, but they put his picture on the Ace of Spades card, and you know, it's always when it comes to what the numerology, these kind of things, right? And I said, but I don't bring all the information. It was a death card, right? It's a death card. They did this with previous. I was reading something on it. They did this with previous people that they get rid of. Saddam being one of them. When they put his face on the card, right? An example of that, I remember the old Western movies when they used to put a man's face on a card because he was most wanted, right?
God, there's a shoot at it.
Yeah. So you see, the inward part is very wickedness. Their throat is an open sepulchre. They flatter with their tongue. Destroy thou them, O God. Let them fall by their own counsels. Cast them out in the multitude of the transgressions, for they have rebelled against thee. And again, the Lord is welcome. You see, the power that they have right now, they feel that they will go untouched. That is why Trump will come out and make the statements that they will never have a World War III, right? Or, that America will continue to be to be great again. So you're seeing it where they believe that they're not going to get touched. And ultimately, is the Lord coming to destroy them. They're going to, you can imagine not being touched, right? And then the first person the person that coming to touch you is the Lord. You know what kind of touch you're going to get? Right? That's a serious kind of touch up. You know, Jake love to make a statement down here, hey, said that man get touched up, hey. That is what they're going to be saying about Esau Edom. That is what they're going to be saying about America. Right? All of this deceitfulness, all the lies they continue to put out on the media. But in the background, they know what they're coming to do. Right? The Reaper Jones, this last week, 2 days in a row. The first night when I ran outside to see if I saw what it was, I couldn't see it. But it was loud. Right? It was loud. So it was one of the big planes. But the plane moved so fast, by the time I reached outside, I couldn't even see it. And then the next night was basically a more swifter one.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you see, they only go. We saw earlier today with the big ship, and then tonight you see the rep from NATO. He put out the picture with Maduro head on the Ace of Spades cards. You don't already know what's coming. So all these jakes are thinking that they in the spirit of peace and safety. They in tongue protesting. How much of them come out? 60 of them come out to protest. Pastors and all of them was in the midst. Just imagine you're a pastor and you going against the Lord, because come on out there to protest against what is happening. Basically, you speaking out against what is the Lord going to bring upon this place, right? But ultimately, hey, this place is about to get shaked up, right? Up in many forms.
These pastors against the truth, because they complacent here. They jamming still same way. And they see the videos right now.
Think about it. The kind of money these men eating on a daily basis, they didn't want to give up this kingdom, man.
Just the main wives. You see, I remember that videos. Brother said, a man send the wife to church, and right in the corridor is rudeness taking place.
Yeah, I see it. I see what you're talking about that. Yeah, he catch you with the thing. Yeah, I see it. But they actually they didn't want to give up this kingdom. Them in tongue protesting. Man, hey, Hey, this place is going to be judged so high they wouldn't. They watch me. All these people that scoff and scorn, they will be coming for answer soon. You know?
Yeah.
They'll be coming for answer soon.
Now they're looking at the skies like the other night. I think it was last week Friday night. I went to a customer, but the customer when I came into the truth, he was I was around him a lot, and he always used to be watching Ancient Aliens and all these different types of things. Right? And 2 chariots passed. 2 chariots passed, very low and slow. And I asked them, I said, "What is that?" And they refused to believe. It's drone, is the US, is all kind of thing, but they refuse to believe. And I know he knows what it is because I showed them years ago in the truth. I showed them what it is. So it's just that they don't want to believe that the truth coming to pass.
The ignorance act, the ignorance.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, all the time I've been looking for it, they really hide it. They really hide it. But sometimes they do that. They just flash it in front of your face.
Yep.
Yeah, I've gotten that before. So they hiding it. I'm not seeing it at all. That Ace of Spades, NATO representative putting it.
Yeah, because what went on is that when he shared, reporters and like some other high profile people had to share it as well, right? Some of the stuff that they were sharing, it's like some of the statements they made from the post was that the information was they already get the information that this is going to happen. Like this time they're going to get rid of Maduro, right? Like one of the posts, I remember one of the posts was other rep, but he was a rep for Venezuela, but I believe he does deal with the UK. And when he shared the post, he was like, "It's about time." So he already understand what it is they're going to do. You know what I'm saying? So where that came?
Yeah, they're going to invade. The place is going to turn up a notch. Blood's going to turn it up a notch. And America, I'm sure that in the middle of the crossfire, what thing going to happen? You're going to bring, you understand, that civil unrest. You're going to bring Isaiah 4:1. You're going to bring farming. You're going to bring farming of the wood. So, hey, we have been, as we know, the end of the year, we're going our marathons. So we go into all the towns.
Yeah.
Going up in Shogunas and Ari Mine and Sawa, all the tongues in Trinidad we go and we preach the gospel. And what I do? The mock and the scoff.
The mock and scoff, yeah. Just to add to what you're saying, just to add to what you're saying, the big brother, you know what's the time? The time to do the live video, the spirit had me to do the live video. You know, while the brother message to do the stream, there's information coming out that we're going into a G5 storm just happened, right? It just happened. So
yeah, because they had like the highest geomagnetic
and it caused the whole of America sky to light up. So they see the aura. Places that never see the aura before, like Florida and these places, they actually
aurora borealis.
Yeah.
Northern lights.
Northern lights. So they see it, right? And it's the crazy thing about it. Today, later on tonight is when actually the next one's supposed to burst out, a bigger one. Which this one they're saying could cause. If this one here reach a G5, which the other one is saying could be bigger. This is the bigger one is what it's saying that could cut off the current, could cut off the electricity, could cut off the internet. Right? So you can never tell who could see this video. This might be the last video you might see. You understand? So where that came?
Yeah. That's it. That's it on my behalf.
Mine too.
All right. So with that, we give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, we pray that this lesson was edifying, if not informative. All praises to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Kakadash, double honor to apostles and elders, a great millstone and citation to the elect. doing this work in sincerity and in truth. Shalom to the elect.
Shalom.
Shalom, the elect.